Today's Hiwatt soundbite is all about audio logos that make an impact. Well, I've got an upcoming project that I'm really excited about. A company has commissioned me to do a audio logo for their brand. And essentially, we're talking in this case about a very short, like 2 to 3 second stinger that's going to become absolutely that brand's sound. So these animated and film and branding logos, they can be all over the map as far as length goes. I've seen branding logos as short as like 1 second, and I timed one movie logo that was like 37 seconds. For today's session, I've pulled up a movie logo that I did a couple of years ago, specifically for my own production company that I'm a partner of. Now, this logo is almost 25 seconds long, which is, of course, a little indulgent, but, we sort of had the luxury on this project. So let's take the full 25 seconds and check out this logo. Here we go. Well, this one struck me pretty clearly, and that landscape scene, that required something really epic, grand, and organic. There was just something about that opening scene that I really wanted to introduce something organic. Well, what is one of the greatest organic, wonderful, rich, powerful sounds in nature? Thunder. I mean, there's nothing to me stronger than thunder. So no question, when I saw that scene, my brain just went organic, natural, epic. Let's go find some thunder. So boom, I know exactly what sound I want to hear. Now I just have to find it, right? Well, I've talked about this in the past, but I strongly encourage anybody who's in this business long term to just immediately start working on your sound library. Don't ever stop contributing and building a really amazing proprietary sound library, because there will never be enough sounds in your sound bank. I mean that. Yeah, I've literally got thousands and thousands of samples and recordings that I've made over the years, but it's still not enough. There's never going to be enough source. I mean, when I look at a picture like this and I know that I need some thunder, well, I need some thunder recordings, So even if I'm just sitting around and I'm not even anywhere near the studio, if a storm rolls in, I'm running for a microphone and a preamp and setting that thing up and usually capturing it. Now, some of you might think, oh man, do you ever take a break from it, Ken? But the reality is, when do you have the opportunity to capture incredible sounds made by Mother Nature? Well, it didn't take me very long looking into my own proprietary library before I found this thunder recording. So I'm just going to go ahead and bypass the plugins on that recording. Let's listen to it dry. Well, you can hear clearly in that recording that there's rain falling. Well, I simply just put a low pass filter and I put that thing on about 250 hertz, and I just got rid of every single bit of top end on this recording. That wasn't the part of this recording I was after. I just wanted that initial rumble. I wanted that epic, grand feel of something really, really big. So I filtered all the top end off and I stuck it into a reverb, and I think it just worked really, really well. Check it. It's really cool. There's sort of a secondary rumble that happens in that thunder kind of after the initial attack. So cool. Okay, so the thunder is the very first thing we hear against this image. And shortly after, another kind of pad sound comes in. Just an atmospheric layer, right? It's just some sound going into a really long reverb. Now, I'm a hack of a guitar player, there's no question. I barely get by playing guitar, but often I'll pull my electric or acoustic guitar out in the studio and I'll just start noodling into really cool effects. So here's this guitar part I laid down. Check it. Yeah, that's a beautiful texture, and I love the way the space just hangs forever on that. Okay, so for a moment, let's take all the effects off this guitar and play it back exactly as I recorded it. And I'm absolutely proven just how much of a hack I am at guitar. Check this. So all I did to create this texture is I took that guitar part and I flipped it around backwards. So here's what it sounds like backwards. And then I just turned it into a tank with a bunch of delay and reverb. Just love that ambience hanging out. As you can see, you flip a guitar track around and you just put a ton of effects on it, and it can create a wonderful texture to a piece like this. So let's move right along. You know, I absolutely love the simplicity of a single piano note. And you'll notice that I just put a really long backwards reverb on that piano note. Right when that piano note hits, I'm muting the ambient sounds that we've been generating up till then, and I'm adding a bass note right on that downbeat. And of course, you can't help but notice that ambient recording that I've dropped in right on that piano note of those birds. Now, I know exactly where that recording came from. A few years ago, I was camped way out in the woods, and at 4 a.m., I awoke to that sound. I couldn't believe my ears. It was early in the spring, and I woke up to a chorus of birds. It was like, what in the world is going on? Do they know something that I don't? Well, some of you are probably going to shake your head, but of course I had all my recording equipment with me. So I sprung out of that tent and I grabbed all my gear and I went up to a little hillside and I set up. And that's what that recording is. So let's hear it totally dry and unaffected, just the way I recorded it that morning. So there's a ton of hiss on that recording, and of course, you know, I had the gain of that mic preamp just cranked, and therefore brought up the noise floor substantially, right? Yeah, nothing a simple filter can't take care of, and then throw it into a reverb, and you've got this really cool sound. Yeah, in my experience, introducing organic sounds into stuff like logos can just be a home run. You know, I just feel as human beings, we have a special connection with the sounds that we hear out in nature. There's no question you can benefit in a big way from introducing organic and natural sounds to almost any recording, and particularly when you're talking about a logo like we're working on today. So the next time you're commissioned to compose and produce an original piece of music for a movie logo like I've got up today, take advantage of that special connection that we have with the sounds that occur out there in nature by introducing some of them to that logo.